It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Friday, August 15th. We've made it. It's Friday, Friday. Oh my God, I'm so happy it's Friday, you guys. I don't know how much Friday is needed in your house, but Friday is so needed over here in Daily Dose of Donna land. I'm feeling so confident that this weekend is what we all needed, right? We all need a weekend all the time. But there's so many reasons why we need a weekend. Number one, I need to really hone in on puppy land. I need to hone in on puppy training with my sweet, sweet Wrigley. Don't worry, stick around and you'll get a photo of the day. Plus, I have one more week until Doser is live. So I have so much to do when it comes to planning. Have you guys bought tickets? Did you guys see Zach's video of him dancing? Did you see Zach's video of him dancing yesterday? Oh my goodness. The way I laughed. I wish I could play this music for you, and I can't because YouTube's gonna get me. But don't worry. I'll play it in the background in just a moment. I have so many amazing people here. I see Teresa's here. Of course, I have Lauren here. I have, oh my gosh, Billy's here. Amy's here. Christina said she bought her ticket. I know Amy definitely bought her ticket. So many people. If you guys bought your ticket for Dosers Live, let me know in the comments. I need to know if you guys are going to be here. Lucky for you, LA weather is going to be off the chain. And by that, I mean warm. It's going to be warm. We're going to have margaritas. I have a whole list of cocktail idea names. Okay. Should I let you guys know what they are? Oh, they're funny. My planners and I came up with some good names. So don't worry. We're going to have some fun cocktails. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second. So everyone get your arms ready. Part of the show is going to be just an arm jazzercise. Okay. So if you like to dance, you got to come to Dosers Live. This is your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Okay, here are some of the ideas for the cocktails for Daily Dose of for Dosers Live. Are you guys ready? Karen Rita. Remember? Karen Reed. The Karen Rita. That could be like a skinny margarita or something. A dirty Baldoni. That's like a dirty martini. How about the Baldoni Negroni? The Justin Bellini. That's a Bellini. How about these are just throwing some ideas out. I really don't want to name any drinks after Blake Lively, but these were some ideas thrown out. The Lively 75. That's a French 75 with extra bubbles and even more baggage. No teeth. The Lively Libation. No, we don't want to do anything after her. Subpoena Surprise. That could just be like a fun idea. A subpoena surprise. The Dad Bod. That's after who? I don't know. Waking Up in Canton. After Karen Reed. I like that. An espresso martini. Waking Up in Canton. The Dirty Ditty. I don't want a dirty ditty. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want a dirty ditty ever in my life. I'll take a dirty Donna, right? Let's do a dirty. I love a dirty martini. That's my drink of choice. If I'm having a cocktail, it's a dirty martini. Always. But I never want a dirty ditty. Dirty ditty. Ew. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show, you guys. I am so happy that you guys are here. We have some stuff to cover back in the Blake. It never ends. It literally never ends. I can't get out of this case. And just this morning, I was talking to Zach like 3 hours ago. I hadn't checked the docket because I'm not like I don't go on. I'm not Lauren, like who's here. She says no dirty Donna. I don't know why you don't want a dirty Donna. I like it dirty. Oh, that's a ew. Who wants to drink Ryan's perineum, Micah? That would be like the White Russian. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna stop. This is too funny. You guys are really good. The blue paint man. It could be like a blue curacao drink, like that could be the curacao drink could be an Amy. What's her name? The girl that got lost on the cruise ship. Now I can't remember her name. Bradley. That's not funny, right? That's not like a funny joke. I'll make Zach take a shot off someone's perineum at Dosers Live. That's what I'll do. So back to we'll have to do a cherry drink. Whooping and wallering cherry drink. Life is like a bowl of cherries. Whooping and wallering. Just for Blake's mother, who I think is the source of all of this drama. Okay, back to the show. I don't cover the docket regularly. I leave that for the experts. And by the experts, I mean Lauren at the Court of Random Opinion. She's who I go to for all of that. This morning, I was talking to Zach and I was like, I'm so over Blake Lively. I'm so nauseous with her. I don't want to talk about her ever again. I know. But then I see all of these documents that were released on the docket last night. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry. What? What are these documents? What are these crazy, new exhibits that she released in her motion to compel? So basically, what happened was last night, a bunch of new documents were released when I say a bunch, I mean like 30 or 40 new exhibits were released. And why I think they're interesting is because they're revealing in a way that you can look at both good and bad. Anytime you see anyone's personal text messages and emails, you immediately think like, oh, this is bad or, oh, this is good, right? Because you're in someone's personal emails and text messages. I don't care if that's, whenever it's in a trial or even just in your friend's phone. Or even if you go in your husband's phone and you just look at him texting his friends about, sports, you feel like, oh, what am I going to find? It feels a little shady. But the truth is, at the end of the day, when you're actually reading through these, you have to understand that it's all in context. So we're going to go through some of them that I found were, the most quote unquote revealing, if you want to look at it that way. Let me just text them to myself because I downloaded them on my laptop and I just need to forward them to myself. But once again, you have to remember that these are all things that are being found in discovery. And what happens in discovery is you're finding things from the other opposing side's personal phones, emails, and records. And when you're releasing them and you're putting them in the docket, they're never going to expose you in a negative light if they are from the opposing side. But these specifically, they're coming from Blake. We haven't yet seen Wayfair's discovery yet in this case. Like we haven't seen Blake's phone. We haven't seen Ryan and Blake's and their communications with their agents and managers and attorneys and their publicists, et cetera. We haven't seen anything on that end, minus what we saw just, from their general Leslie Sloan couple text messages that we got in their original complaints. So we need to see the whole picture before you get an idea. But what you're seeing right now, of course, can be misconstrued in a very negative way. This is just my take from it, from like a outside pop culture PR version of what we're looking at. Because the first thing I like to do is I like to look at these things and then see what people are saying about it online. And if you go to Reddit or if you go to X and you go and look at the pro Baldoni people versus the pro Lively people, of course they're reading this in a completely different way. So let's look at this. Things are very out of order. And things are very confusing in terms of, when things are sent. So I'm just downloading things all over the place and we're going to be pulling them up kind of out of order, like I said. Let me just pull them up let me just pull them up in the order that they were released that I thought were interesting. And if you guys see any that I don't have here that are like super, super interesting that I didn't pull up, just let me know. By the way, almost 1,000, over 1,000 people here already in the live. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the like below. Thank you so much. That really helps my show. Okay. Um, the first one that I thought was kind of interesting was Exhibit 28. Exhibit 28. Let me pull it up and let me share it with you guys. And I'm only conceptualizing or contextualizing it because not all of you guys follow this case regularly. I know a lot of you guys are like, get on with it, Donna. You're such a talker. Well, not everyone here is as in it as you guys are. So what can I do, Rosebud Petta? And my name is spelled D-A-N-A. Wink, wink, girl, girly girl. And this is my show. Okay. So, Exhibit 28, this, for example, is a text message conversation with 8 participants between Jen Abel, Melissa Nathan, Katie Case, Matthew Mitchell. So, these are different people that are working on the PR side. And this is all happening in August of 2024. August 8th, to be exact, is when this conversation is happening. And so, if you go back to remember when this is happening, it was during the premiere week of It Ends With Us. If you kind of want to remember context of when that was happening, that was around the time of, when people were just starting to notice what was going on. And from a PR standpoint, you can understand that they were saying, hey, let's get an eye on what is happening here. So these text messages are basically just internal PR. Jen Abel sending a file of some sort, Katie Case, who works with them, saying, thank you. We've flagged her to Jed and his team as well. Jen Abel, it looks like she took it down, but she posted this. And here's a TikTok. Now, I don't even know what this TikTok is. I can look at it another time. And then here's a screenshot, and this is interesting. It's a screenshot that you kind of can't even really see, but it's a screenshot that has to do with Justin. And it's kind of a negative. Let me zoom in. It's kind of a negative, but it says Justin, the creator of a show called My Last Days, exploits the struggles of individuals facing familiar or something terminal illnesses for his own gain. He found my friend who is battling a serious illness and followed her life closely. So basically, it's a screenshot of an Instagram story that I can't see who wrote it. I can't see who posted it, but it says it was a screenshot of a DM, and the post says, a DM I received. This whole thing is messing me up. So it's basically a very, very smeary DM that they received about Justin from his experience working on My Last Days. Not even It Ends With Us. So this is when people were starting to question who Justin Baldoni was in these couple days as he was not being in pictures with the rest of the cast. And so this random person, I wish I knew who, on Instagram was posting this, and they were saying, what is going on with this story? So Katie Case says, I am assuming this is not true in the slightest. This girl is on a very dangerous crusade to more followers. So they're thinking, and I'm dying to know who the hell this girl is. If anyone here knows in the comments who this was that posted this in their Instagram story, I'm very, very curious. Either way, we've flagged to Jed and his team for more serious action on the social side. We'll monitor heavily for any shift in narrative seen based on this narrative. Read My Last Days and any other commentary on it. Well, this is really interesting. And I'm going to just pause for a second because, and I'm not good enough right now to be able to pull up the exact part this is in Blake Lively's complaint. But in Blake Lively's original complaint, I want you guys to try to remember. Remember how we always talked about she had her cherry picked texts? Oh, I think I found it. Hold on. Did I find it on Reddit? Someone wrote about it. Let me see. I think someone, yep. Okay, perfect. Someone pulled it on Reddit. Reddit is amazing for this. So on Reddit, someone posted this, and this is so interesting. On the original Blake Lively complaint, she had posted these cherry picked texts. And there was one text message, and it was from Jen Abel. And it said this. Let me screen share this instead. In response to the article, Miss Abel said, I'm assuming this is not true in the slightest, ... Either way, we've flagged to Jed and his team for more serious action on the social side. Okay? However, now that we're seeing the actual texts, do you guys realize it's actually not even written from Jen Abel? Are you saying that Blake Lively's original complaint completely changed who wrote that text? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This is insane to me. It's a completely different text message, meaning it's the same words, but it's not even from Jen Abel. Reminding you, it's actually written by Katie Case. I'm assuming this is not true in the slightest. And then it says, this girl is on a very dangerous crusade to more followers. Either way, we flagged to Jed and his team for more serious action on the social side. What the fuck? What the fuck? So not only are they cutting lines and adding emojis, they literally renamed who wrote a text message. How? And then they did it in like they put it in a green box. They like actually they made it look like a text message. I don't understand. You guys, tell me how they did this. This looks like a screenshot of like Celebrate a text message. Tell me I'm wrong here. Am I missing anything? I'm looking at your comments. But it looks to me, because it's the exact same date, it looks to me like they fudged the owner of this text message. So that's effed up beyond belief. Okay. This is a problem. So, and remember, Blake Lively's team is the one that sent this information in. Blake Lively's team is the one that released this information. So they're telling on themselves. I don't know who else other than Reddit has posted this. So you guys share this information with everyone, because this needs to be out there. And I'm sure at this point, hopefully Justin Baldoni's legal team is aware of this. Okay. Now, let's continue with if there's anything else on that little text message thread that is interesting. They're going back and forth. Katie Case says, also, if this isn't true, and I'll let Melissa and Brianna chime in too, but this is ground for a cease and desist or legal. Katie Case, by the way, they work for Melissa Nathan at Tag. Also, Jen Abel says pushing out some good press. They talked about E! There was positive press, remember, in these days. Perez Hilton, Katie Case wrote or posted a little link here from Perez Hilton about their feud. Jen said adding Jamie here too, so we're all in sync. Justin is on the other thread. Hi, Jamie. And then they're showing that they're getting emails from Just Jared asking for some information. Jen Abel says, team, just FYI, we're pulling press for tomorrow. Not worth it with these local producers gunning for a comment. Let's keep an eye out for chatter. Melissa Nathan says, what is the language you are using to pull? And Jen says, well, he's exhausted. We wrapped the screening at midnight and he has been going for a full week of junket. We'll get them next time we are in market. And Melissa Nathan says, okay, perfect. So they're kind of coming up with what language they're going to tell the press of why he's not doing press right now. It all makes sense. Then they post another TikTok from Jen Abel. She says, this woman was on set with Justin during that movie, 5 Feet Apart, speaks to how wonderful Justin is. So they're saying there's still positive things out there. Then there's another article that they're pushing from Forbes saying, beautiful interview, such an amazing story. So it's just like, to me, it's very positive. I mean, not positive. It's very typical internal PR information. That's really it. It's just very, very typical positive, not positive, uh, typical PR back and forth. Uh, and then that um, they notice at some point that it says, meanwhile, the film's screenwriter, Christy Hall, appears baffled by the claim that Ryan Reynolds wrote the iconic rooftop scene and shared she wasn't aware Reynolds contributed to the dialogue. And Jen Abel writes, good. It's pickup from the People interview, but with a much more honest spin. Because they know the truth and they know exactly what was happening behind the scenes with Ryan Reynolds. So they're like, good. I'm glad that they are figuring this out. Then Katie Case comes in and says, interesting thread going around Ryan this AM that the supposed rift is due to him pushing his way onto the movie, trying to overshadow It Ends With Us to boost Deadpool. We'll keep an eye, but wanted to flag overall. Then she posts an article about it. Katie Case continues. She says, the tides are swirling around Ryan now, FYI. And then posts another article saying, here's why I'm still Team Baldoni. I'll admit I knew nothing about the movie or the book, but the marketing of the movie made it seem like this was a romantic film where their characters fall in love and live happily ever after. However, this isn't the case. It's all much darker and deeper. During the press tour, Baldoni has made his goal to bring awareness to the issues and establish a female gaze. When asked about his role in It Ends With Us, he had an emotional response, And this was all, remember, a day after the premiere, way before the quote unquote inorganic smear campaign, or organic, whatever, the smear campaign comes in. They continue. Let me see what this little screenshot is here. I can't really see. It's so hard to read. I have no idea. Literally no idea what it is. It almost looks like Dumois in the heading, like in the avatar, but I have no idea. Jen Abel goes, thanks. Melissa, you spoke to her, right? She has nothing new. Katie Case goes, I'll let Melissa weigh in, but Colleen Hoover has gone private on TikTok. Melissa Nathan goes, no interest in covering in terms of anything new. And that's where that attachment ends. So that to me is quite fascinating information. So this is the week of the premiere. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here, by the way. We're going to continue on. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I just need to take 1 second and shout out my ad for this week, and that is Function. I chose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to actually take action. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. And that's why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy Lendon are all behind Function Health. Is fasting messing with your hormones? Women's bodies are biologically wired for reproductive protection, and their endocrine systems are closely connected to energy availability. Women deal with monthly hormonal fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone and have higher sensitivity to caloric restrictions and stress. And when the body senses nutrient scarcity, it can trigger a cascade of hormonal shifts. Fasting naturally increases cortisol levels, which works to mobilize stored energy, support mental clarity, and regulate hunger hormones like leptin. But along with increasing blood sugar dysregulation and raising anxiety or irritability, prolonged cortisol elevation can impact women's LH and FSH levels, disrupting ovulation as a result. So if you're thinking about fasting, consider testing your levels to make sure your hormones are in check and your metabolism is strong before creating your plan. I am loving function. I just got my results back yesterday and I'm going over them with my doctor and I'm finding really, really interesting information about me. I'm 44 years old and I'm a biological age of 31.8, which I was really excited to find out. So if you are interested in getting your biomarkers checked out, learn more and join using my link. Visit www.functionhealth.com/Donna. That's DANA, functionhealth.com/Donna. Thank you so much. Let's move on to our second release of exhibits, which I find it's more and more interesting. Here's another one that I thought was quite interesting in order. Here's 35. Let me see what's next. I have 35, 37, 46. Okay, 35. So, and they're in like piecemeals. Just remember that. So that's why it's kind of like a little bit annoying to go through them. Let me just open it with preview so I can share it with you guys. Okay. So this one is called Exhibit 35, and this one is an email. It looks like it's an email from Justin Baldoni on January 2nd, and it looks like it's his friends. I'm assuming it's an email. Maybe it's text messages. I think it's a text message thread, and it's called. They're calling it prayers and support. Okay, and he's sending this to his circle, and by his circle, this is not really just his work circle. This is his circle of, I would imagine, very close friends and family. Now you're going to recognize some of these names. On this list is, I hope I'm saying it right, Ahmed Musiol. I don't know exactly who he is, but we can find out. Jamie Heath, obviously you know who that is. We have Cyrus Sagari, don't know who that is. We have obviously Justin. We have Travis Van Winkle, who I know as an actor. I used to actually, let me see where he is now. I know we brought him up the other day. Travis, I used to audition back in the day. Travis is, I'll show you him in just a second. Let's look up everyone here on this list. And most interestingly, who you guys also will know is Andy Grammer, the amazing singer who I love. And Rainn Wilson, that's Dwight from Office Space, is also on this group text. In addition, we also have Adam Monshine, who played the OBGYN, who is, of course, he was a big part of this complaint because Blake made him sound like he was just some creep that was just given a job as the OBGYN. Did I say Office Space? I meant Office. Sorry, not Office Space. Office. I love Dwight. Having Dwight in your corner is everything, Amy says. Well, I agree. And we don't know these people from anyone. Like, that's the truth. We don't know who Rainn Wilson is in real life. We don't know who Travis Van Winkle or Andy Grammer are in real life. We really don't. We know that all we know is that we're seeing evidence. And remember, this is Blake Lively's side releasing these messages. But we're seeing evidence that Justin Baldoni had a circle of people that he was communicating with and he was sharing his honest, true feelings about. So let's read exactly what this message says. It says, and this is on January 2nd, 2024. So if you remember the timeline whatsoever, this was right before he had that big meeting after the new year, after all of, the big drama was kind of starting. Hey, all, Happy New Year. Flying back to New Jersey Friday is day 1 of 17. They had to go back on set. I haven't seen Blake in person since the safety letter / accusation. Feeling all sorts of things. She used the claim / letter to gain power over the whole production. Trying to find my balance of captaining a ship and leading it while it's being held hostage. How to give her most of what she wants while maintaining some of my own vision. And starting Friday, acting and working with this person who can and will use anything she can against me. It's all scary, yet I know I have protection. Starting this thread again as I will need the emotional / spiritual support. Love you all. Okay. So I want to know from you guys in the comments, 1,800 of you. I want to know for you guys in the comments, please let me know right now. I would imagine most of you that are here are Team Justin. But does this look to you like an admission of guilt? An admission of guilt of sexual harassment? I need to know because the people that are anti Justin are doing everything they possibly can to turn this into what seems as an admission of, I know that she has complained and I am aware of it and I am guilty of it and I'm going back to work on it. Okay. When you're saying, I am feeling trying to gain my balance, being held hostage, um, needing your prayers. I need emotional, spiritual support. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This guy is going into what feels like battle. It feels like battle. Like, I'm sorry. There's nothing about this that feels in any way like he's like, oh my God, she is, she called me out for sexual harassment and like, haha, I don't care about her. What? Continuing. At the temple, we'll pray for you. It's redacted. So there's someone that's being redacted. I don't know who that is, but one person is redacted. Rainn Wilson, such a challenging issue, so difficult. I can't even imagine. Sending prayers, buddy. Just keep your focus on the service you are providing in the telling of this very important story. Adam then loved that and said, so much love coming your way, brother. Your surrender to the greater will at work and the light and mercy hidden within these many tests is inspiring. You're not alone. You're seen and you are valued. He says, my man, thank you, sir. I received that. Love you all. Grateful I have a spiritual warrior by my side and Jamie. So am I. Very grateful Jamie is with you. Thank you, everyone, for being such an incredible group of love and encouragement, truly. It will help us get to the finish line in ways that we can stand tall. Justin is 100 going to quarterback us to the win. No doubt. I'm humbled to be amongst all of you, or you all. Okay. This is kind of heartbreaking to me. If you put this in any other terms, if you put this into a woman writing this about a scary, a man on set that she deemed to be someone that was like overtaking the set and controlling her, it would be a no-brainer. It would be a no-brainer that this would be like, oh my God. Right? Let's keep going. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you how it's being misconstrued and how everything is always so misconstrued for people that want to see things a different way. And it bothers me, but such is life. This is kind of how you have to go through it. You have to just accept that if you don't want to, if you don't want to believe Justin Baldoni, you're always going to see it negatively, This one, do I have to read this one? Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. This is just a quick little text message, or I think it's probably on the same group thread. Sorry, the sharing is a little annoying. It's on that same group thread. Sam Baldoni, the dad, is also on this. And this is on January 4th. Jamie and I are heading over to Blake's now with other producers for the big meeting. This was the big meeting, you guys. This is the meeting where he's gonna get berated. First time we have seen each other in person since her safety allegations. Would appreciate any prayers for protection and strength/calm. Sam, his dad, says, praying for strength and protection and angels all around you. And there's something else that Justin loved that's not here. And Rainn says, sitting now for some prayers. Guys, it's kind of heartbreaking if you think about it. So he says the word First time we've seen each other in person since her safety allegations. So he's very aware that there were safety allegations. Okay. He's not denying it. He's not avoiding it. He's not pretending it's not there. That doesn't mean that he's doing anything wrong. Just aware because, and I'll give you my thoughts on this stuff in just a moment. And then what's this one? This is some more PR conversations. I don't know if that's important. I don't think that's important. Okay. So that's the crux of the big text messages that were released and emails. And there's probably more. But here is where I think I get very, very frustrated. And I hate to do this. But I'm going to bring up her biggest fan. And it's by ex-patriarch. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to because I think it's important that we refute the people who immediately see this as an admission of I knew that there was sexual harassment and I didn't care. Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is just for that reason, just that reason alone. Okay. I saw on Threads, the place that I hate going more than ever. You guys know me. Threads is like not a good place to ever be. I'm if you guys know me, if you want your blood pressure to raise through the roof and like get angry really, really fast, do not go to Threads. Like for some reason, Threads immediately gives you content that upsets you. Like it's the first thing that it gives you. It's like, I'm going to give you content that gets you mad. So that's why I don't go to Threads unless I have to. So here is more with MJ, who is a huge Blake Lively supporter attorney. She loves Blake Lively and she's an attorney and she thinks that Blake Lively is incredibly, I guess, strong and brave and all of that. And so she says, remember when Justin Baldoni's team put out that timeline in the Blake Lively case, the one they claimed had all the receipts? Their mic drop moment before their complaints against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and the New York Times were dismissed. If that really was all the receipts, I'm wondering where the documents that were unsealed yesterday were on that timeline because they forgot to include them, it seems. Honest mistake, though. Probably. And then it says ex-patriarch took the time to include some of the screenshots here. So then we have our bestie, ex-patriarch, who says Justin Baldoni did it. I want to make sure you guys can see this big. Justin Baldoni did it. He did all of it. Red alert. Red alert. New documents show tag discussed the HR complaints and that Blake Lively, Jenny Slate then made those complaints to Sony. Yes, this is the one thing that I couldn't find in the exhibits. So I'm glad he has the screenshots here. But now I want to find out where they came from so I can pull them. Actually, if anyone in the comments can tell me which exhibit specifically this is on Court Listener, that talks about Blake Lively and Jenny Slate, I can download it and we can look at it in its full entirety because I don't want to look at only just the part that he's posting because he always likes to cut and paste all the important things. So if one of you guys are really good at knowing the exact exhibit, that would be amazing if you guys could share it with me. Because I want to show you kind of what he's posting versus what the actual full exhibit of this one is. But it says, going into the January 4th meeting, Justin says, quote unquote, first time we have seen each other since her safety allegations. And then it shows this document. Well, it says 658/43. Maybe that's what it is. Hold on. 658/43. Maybe this is it. And then I can just pull it up for you guys. Sorry, there's 44 attachments on this one docket piece. Yes, this is it. So I'll be able to show the entire thing for you guys. Okay, here we go. Give me a second. I think it's important that we look at all of it together, right? Right. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, fucking everything. Okay. Let me pull it up. What should we do first? Should we look at what he has to say about it or what it says? Let's look at the whole thing first. How about that? By the way, thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Friday. Make sure you subscribe as we're going through all of this madness. It's a lot of court documents. So I apologize if it's a little bit messy here, but I'm trying my hardest. Okay, so let's pull up document Exhibit 60. Here we go. This is the one that he's quoting here. And let's read it. I haven't read this one yet. So let's read it together for the first time in forever. Okay, Brianna Butler. These are people that work for TAG. This was on 8/14/2024. So August 14th, 2024, Brianna says, let's chat on this as it's Vulture. Vulture is, of course, the magazine or the online, magazine. Carolina says, or for some other service, bye. It's kind of confusing what they're even talking about. Connected with MN, Melissa Nathan, we are not engaging or touching. Katie says, okay. Carolina, having all of this veteran crisis stuff out there just boosted our retainers at least 10% IMO, in my opinion. Katie Case, seeing the newest TMZ attempt. Do we start seeding he had to hire someone to protect him from the consistent attacks and smear campaign by Blake and her team? Melissa Nathan, well, let's find out if it's true first, as if it is. Katie Case, we knew about the 2 complaints from Jenny and Blake re the sexy comment. Melissa Nathan, was it HR though? Katie, yeah. Katie Case, I just asked for further clarification though. Katie, because that information was conveyed at about 10:30 p.m. LOL, but I'm like 90% sure. Brianna, I thought Blake and Jenny ran to studio. If there was a 3rd complaint brought to HR, he would have heard about it, and that was never brought up. They sent something else. Katie says, what is this? Carolina, Taylor Lorenz. Oh no, not the worst person in the entire world. You know my feelings on Taylor Lorenz. I mean, Taylor Lorenz is truly like evil when it comes to this case. I can't handle her. Katie says, what? Look, she feels the same as I do. Katie Case hates Taylor Lorenz too. Who likes Taylor Lorenz? What? In relationship to what? Carolina, what the fuck? I get it. Carolina says, wait, what do you mean? Ha ha ha. Carolina says, Taylor posted this on her story. Katie says, wait, I might be misunderstanding what's happening here. Melissa says, same. I thought it was because of me for a minute. I thought she thought I was a criminal. She's calling Biden a war criminal while actively employed at Waco. Oh, ha ha ha. So that's what they're saying. Okay. So they're talking about, oh my God. That's hysterical. Taylor Lorenz is truly the worst person online. Like, I think the world, when they hear her name, they're like, what? That's how they feel about her. Okay. So Taylor Lorenz was posting about Biden being a war criminal, and she probably posted one story about Blake Lively because she's a believe all woman type of person, right? Taylor Lorenz is a ride or die for Blake Lively, and she's the owner of like the misogyny slop term. So she hates Justin Baldoni. We don't like Taylor Lorenz on this channel at all. I'm like Katie Case. What? That's how I feel about her. So the only thing that is interesting in this entire text thread is this part where it says, hold on. The only thing right here is where it says, I, oh my God, Amy, I just saw your thing. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up in 1 second. That's insane that you just sent that. Hold on. It says, we know about the 2 complaints from Jenny and Blake. Read the sexy comment. The sexy comment. Okay. The sexy comment. And Melissa says, was it HR? They say, yep. Okay. And then Brianna says, I thought Blake and Jenny ran to studio. If there was a third complaint brought to HR, he would have heard about it. And that was never brought up, meaning Justin Baldoni didn't even know about a third complaint from HR. He knew about Blake and Jenny apparently having a problem with Justin Baldoni calling her onesie sexy. I can't. You guys remember that this was a sexual harassment case. And we're doing this because of a sexy comment? What? Copper is like me. Call me sexy, baby. Jeez, this pisses me off. Now, I need to go and do this. This is so nice. Amy is such a kind, sweet doser. She's a Patreon member. She's flying out for Dosers Live because she just wants to be surrounded by happy people. She said, ex-hater, meaning ex-patriot, is straight up gaslighting. He twists the truth to make people question their reality. It's infuriating. I can't wait for him to be proven wrong. Side note, you and Dosers brighten my day in a rough chapter in my life. Thank you. Oh my gosh, does that mean we're your Travis Kelce? Because Travis Kelce is a human, exclamation point. Are we your human, exclamation point? That's so sweet, Amy. And I'm sending you so much love. This is so insane. So this is all it says. But let's go back to this psycho comment that basically says, take that one little piece and now says, Justin Baldoni did it. He did all of it. From that, he did all of it. Because he knew. New documents show that they discussed the HR complaints and that Blake Lively, Jenny Slate made those complaints to Sony. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, cool. Guys, just because someone complains about you doesn't mean that it's true. Doesn't mean that it's true. Do you know how many times people say things about me on the internet that aren't true? You can't take someone's word as truth. This is insane. He did it. He did all of it. Okay. Then continuing, Baldoni was also hiding how bad things were on set. So Justin, in one text message here, says, Kalof called me. Kalof is the head CEO of Wayfair. Like, I want to say like the top of Wayfair. I don't know exactly what his name is. And remember, this is on May 28th, 2023. So someone tell me in the timeline. I wish I even knew what happened on May 28th, 2023. I want to say that's like around the time of the birth scene, right? Kalof called me. What does he know? Jamie says nothing. He knows we got shut down for COVID. Haven't talked to him since then. And he says, so nothing about Blake or drama? Nope, of course not. He knows she wasn't happy about getting COVID. And Justin says, I mean, he's fine to know that stuff. He's our guy. What about this? Says Baldoni was also hiding how bad things were on set. He said, does he know anything? I mean, he's fine to know that stuff. There's nothing about this that says he's hiding. Stop lying. Stop lying and creating a narrative for these people that just want to hang on to these fake things. Okay? Oh, Enrique, but did she have COVID? She was at the Eras tour around those days. Someone find out. Find out when she went to the Eras tour. Marcus says, "Love your show. Greetings from Finland. Thank you so much. How do you say hi in Finnish? Finnish. Okay, then to continue on this idiocracy, Heath and Baldoni shared with Sarowitz about the comments the ladies had feelings about. Sarowitz's response to remind Blake whose money this is. Now, I'm going to talk about this in just a second. I want to pull up this attachment. Looks like it's attachment 36. Let me pull it up really fast. This is a text message. Oh, it's that same one. It's the same one that we just looked at with um the one about COVID and Jamie Heath. And basically what it's saying, I'll share it with you guys right now. It's so stupid. I mean, this reminds me of like, oh, I don't want to say too much what it reminds me of, but you know what I mean. Okay. So basically in this other document, in this text message thread, I have so many text message threads up here. Let me stop sharing this one and let me pull up this other one. Oh, that's not it. Oh my God. I have too many open. Hold on. Let me close this one. I close that one. I close that one. Is this it? Okay, this is it. So this is, okay, this is interesting. Share screen. Here we go. Okay, Exhibit 53. This is on May 28th, 2023. It's exactly the one that I was just reading with you about COVID. Justin says, "I'm just by the pool listening to stuff and trying to release if you want to come here today." Ooh, what is he doing? Trying to release. Okay. Jamie says, "Hey, brother, I'm up in Philly. Be back mañana." Then Jamie says, "Conversation is going really well, and Alex is in a good place." Alex is Alex Sachs. She's the producer. "I'm going to set it up for you two to talk, but you shouldn't share all that I've shared about what she says about you, other than what I say now. Let's keep it up." Justin says, "FaceTime me." Then he says, "Kalof called me. What does he know?" Jamie says, "Nothing. He knows we got shut down for COVID. Haven't talked to him since then. So nothing about Blake or drama." Nope, of course not. He knows that she wasn't happy about getting COVID. I mean, he's fine to know that stuff. He's our guy. I told Steve more today, Justin said. Jamie says, "I talked to Steve last night also. I didn't share about the comments the ladies had feelings about. Didn't want to share anything you hadn't yet." Justin said, "I shared with him today. He said he should come to set and remind Blake whose money this is." And I said, "That's not the best idea." Jamie said, "Yeah, he said that too to me regarding how difficult she is to work with. He doesn't quite get the nuance." Okay. Let's break this part down. This I wonder exactly what was happening on on May 28th. I want to say that the birthing scene was May 22nd, 23rd, right? The birthing scene. I think I have a timeline here. Do I have a timeline? Aha! I knew it. I am on my shit today, you guys. I am on my shit today. Make sure that you are liking and subscribing because Donna is bringing it. This is the timeline of It Ends With Us. Can you guys see it? Okay, it's kind of hard to see it, but let's go through it. So you guys, they started shooting on May 16th. And already on May 28th, they're having all of these text messages like Blake is having some major, major drama. What a fucking biatch. She was creating such a hard time for herself. For them. You guys, they were 12 days into production and she was ruining their lives. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I feel so bad for Wayfair and for everyone on this movie. I have a husband that works on sets every single day. If this was the I mean, this is crazy how they just started shooting. Okay. May 16th, principal photography begins. May 22nd is the birthing scene. And May 23rd is when she sees the wife's home birthing video. May 23rd is also when they film the slow dancing scene. May 25th is when she finds out someone gets COVID, and that night she gets COVID. May 26th, she alleges that she told Sony that she wants to lodge the HR complaint. He checks in with her May 26th after hearing she's sick again, and then nothing until May 29th. So these text messages that we were just showing was right after she gets COVID, when Justin Baldoni is checking in with her and sending her all those text messages about, hey, do you need someone to go? You guys remember all those text messages about, like, I can send someone to your house, the healing person? Do you guys remember all of that? So this was on May 28th. This is 2 days after she falls sick with COVID, and he's like trying to deal with it. And he's saying to his co-producer, I don't want the head honcho of our production company that is funding and behind this movie to know all of the ins and outs of, like, our star actress having issues with everything that's happening on the set of this movie. Because she's clearly having issues with everything that's happening on the set of this movie. She had issues with the birthing scene. She had issues with the people on the set. She had issues with the video. She's having issues with the people coming into the trailer. She's having issues now with the COVID. She's having issues with the sexy. She's having issues with everything. And he's like, let's keep it internal. We don't want to release this information to everyone in the world, because the less people that know, the better. And this is very, very understandable. If you've ever worked in a corporation, if you've ever worked in for work, for anything, you want to make sure that you don't want to, like, you kind of don't want to take every issue up the corporate ladder. Do you know what I mean? If you guys understand corporate America, or like the politics of studios and everything, you don't want the toppity tops of everyone to know all the drama unless they have to. Because the last thing you want is to be known as a problematic set, as a difficult set. You kind of want to keep it, like, internal as much as possible. And if she's going to Sony and HR, sounds like she was handling it properly. What is Justin supposed to be doing? Putting himself on the stake and offing himself? He was doing everything appropriately. He knew that she was having issue with it. He was trying to check in with her and make sure things were okay. He was going to the meetings and signing off on her egregious, insane rules. And he was doing everything by her rules. He was literally taken hostage by the lead character of his film. And his hands were tied. And Steve Sarowitz here is like the dad that's coming in. And he's like, he doesn't understand film production as much. He's a money guy. So he comes in and he's like, I don't understand. Do I need to come to set and explain and remind her who is paying for this? Because she needs to get her shit in check. And Jamie's like, whoa. We got to chill this out, because Steve doesn't really understand, like, how to massage egos on set. And Steve doesn't really understand how to, like, we need to like, massage her with honey. We need to be sweet with honey. We need to, do any of that. And meanwhile, Justin's like, please pray for me. My life is falling apart. And this is 6 months before he sent out the thoughts and prayers email. This is 12 days into production. This is 20 days after she said, never with teeth. I'm a ball buster. She's crazy. Sorry, Blake Lively is actually crazy. Like, if you look at all the character stuff, it's like Cuckoo. And meanwhile, Jenny Slate went along with it because I just saw an article that Zach Peter sent the other day that I completely missed that came out in August of 2024 on Us Weekly that says Jenny Slate was deeply in love with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us. Deeply in love? So what happened on this set? It sounds to me like Blake Lively was actually trying to have sex with every single person on that set, allegedly. Why is Jenny Slate deeply in love with Blake Lively? You think I'm joking? That's a real article. I'm not joking. I'll show it to you guys right now. I don't know how we all missed this. That's a real article from August 5th, 2024. So it sounds to me like Blake Lively was allegedly grooming every single person on that set. And the only person that said no was Justin Baldoni. I mean, that's the only thing I can take from this. She groomed Colleen Hoover. She groomed Isabella. She groomed Jenny Slate, it looks like. She groomed Brandon Sklenar. As well as being besties on screen, it seems that Slate has found friends in real life too. She's a deeply trustworthy person who's also willing to share. We had long talks. I was never expecting to have the offset experience that I had, said the actress. What? I was really eager to work with Blake, but to really make a friend and someone who is so capable in so many ways. I'm just so grateful for this sweet person. And then she says, I love Jenny so much, and she was such an anchor for me in so many ways. She's just so full of love and light, but she's also so deeply grounded. When you're working, sometimes you feel guilty for just, not being in your personal life for those hours. Da, 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 da. So where the hell is Jenny Slate? And why haven't they been seen out and about? Why aren't they out? Why aren't they holding hands and going out to drinks and being like, where is this friendship, this best friendship? It sounds to me like every single person they call, like they're putting it out that Baha'i is this like crazy cult. I think Blake Lively Eye is a cult. The Blake Eye. I think we should look into, there should be a documentary about the Blake Lively cult. Something's up with that. I'm telling you, it's weird. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then just to kind of wrap up this Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs thread about Justin Baldoni did it. He did all of it. He loved the fact that a lawyer, and I hate to do this to more with MJ, Mary Jane, but she has lost me so much. The fact that she is hardcore on Blake Lively's side as an attorney, it's so bananas, wackadoodle bananas, that you can be like so blinded to it. And you're quoting ex-patriarch here. And she's so sure that he is convinced, but we can't get you can't get sideswiped because he makes you question. He makes you question yourself when you don't know the facts. And I don't mean him only. People that are in her corner can twist and turn and twist the facts. So don't fall for the bullshit when you see stuff like this. Don't fall for this kind of stuff. Taking an old 12-year picture of him where he looks like some, oh my God, she tagged Dr. Leslie Dobson. Oh my God, they tagged Dr. Leslie Dobson. Look who's tagged in his post. I'm dead. Look who's tagged. That is amazing. If you're tagging Dr. Leslie Dobson in your post, You know that you're off. That's hysterical. So this is the group, right? And the new texts show Baldoni's PR team discussing two HR complaints from Jenny and Blake regarding Baldoni's inappropriate comments, he says. I mean, they also mentioned that Blake and Jenny ran to studio, likely referring to them raising their complaints to Sony. Well, where's Sony in all of this? Shouldn't they be culpable? Why is this all on Justin, by the way? Sony raised the complaints with Wayfair on May 29th, the day before Baldoni and Heath were actively trying to hide how bad the situation was. I don't think they were actively trying to hide it at all. This is exactly what we just went through. They just said, so he doesn't know about Blake? That's not saying don't tell him. Whatever you do, hide that with all your life. Don't tell him. Make sure not to tell him. They literally say, I mean, he's fine to know that stuff. He's our guy. So what do you mean actively trying to hide it? Then it says Baldoni and Heath did share the details of the comments the ladies had feelings about with billionaire Wayfair financier Steve Sarowitz. Sarowitz wanted to remind Blake whose money this is. Yeah, that's what the financier's job is. This is my money. Please don't ruin my movie. I don't see how that's so insane. I'm just saying. Baldoni has repeatedly argued he had no idea at the time of Lively's allegations of his unsafe behavior towards her, claiming the January 4th all hands meeting was to discuss plans for the next day's filming, but was blindsided by Lively and Reynolds discussing the allegations against him. And then it says here, it was agreed that filming would resume on January 5th, 2024. On the evening of January 4th, Baldoni, Heath, and producers Todd Black and Alex Sachs were invited to Lively and Reynolds' penthouse in New York City. They arrived eager to discuss plans for the next day's filming, prepared with their production materials. Instead, they were blindsided by Lively and Reynolds, who presented a list of grievances that were both unanticipated and troubling. I'm sorry. That is not in any way false, because he knows that she made a safety allegation, but he didn't know that she was going to come up with a list, a huge 17-point list or whatever, however many point lists. So what the hell is this? He's twisting and turning. Okay, yeah, you felt uncomfortable with me saying that your onesie was sexy or didn't look sexy with the big poncho all over it. And then you come into a meeting and Ryan Reynolds is berating you and yelling at you. And then you're presented with a huge list of all the things that you did wrong and how you have to do no more this, no more that. Yeah, that's kind of surprising. That's kind of unanticipated. That's kind of troubling. You can be blindsided by that, even if you knew that she had made a safety allegation. Shut the fuck up with this, ex-patriarch. Shut up with this. He's the biggest gaslighter. He's a pro-woman guy, my ass. And then it says, yet on January 4th, as Baldoni and Heath were heading into that meeting, Justin asked the group chat for prayers for protection and strength and calm, noting that this was the first time he had seen Blake Lively in person since her safety allegations. And still looking for your point. The group chat includes other Wayfair employees, but also Baldoni's friends and family, meaning Lively's employer and boss was discussing her protected and confidential HR complaints with his buddies. You're telling me that Blake Lively didn't discuss all of this stuff with all of her friends? You're telling me that this wasn't discussed with Taylor Swift, with Liz Plank, with the multitude of people? I can't. I can't. I don't think ex-patriarch is Ryan Reynolds, but ex-patriarch, I am 999% sure is very tied into that team. And I have done diligent research on it. There is no reason that he would go so hardcore on this for this reason, especially considering he was posting incredibly perfectly edited videos, well documented videos the day after her complaint, the CRD complaint came out, when no one was even arguing with the fact that she had come after him for sexual harassment. Actually, most of us believed her. And he was already posting these very, very strong videos. I have a very strong feeling about something going on over there. Something. There's something going on that side. I don't get it, but there's something. Heath also discussed the situation with close friend and musician Andy Grammer, revealing they spent $9 million to protect Justin's reputation. Andy Grammer asks, "What's the possible crisis? That she says some crazy shit?" Okay. For the last 8 months, Justin Baldoni, Wayfair have waged a vicious PR war against Blake Lively. No, don't worry. He didn't have to. We did it all for free. For false allegations, attempting to destroy her reputation and career in retaliation. I'm still looking for the freaking real allegations, all while knowing she was telling the truth. Anyone? Bueller? And then he says, Blake was right. You suck. And he pulled some random ass text message from God knows where on August 4th, where Jamie says about something that says, I meant to say the movie that keeps on moving, a pun. It's bad. So bad. Blake is right. We suck. I just realized that. Damn it. Thank Blake. And it's probably a joke text to someone. He doesn't have any context for it. He doesn't have anything for it. And the fact that more with MJ, and I hate to say this, but this woman who is a lawyer who sits here on Threads and pushes someone like ex-patriarch up, who posts about Leslie Dobson too, it is so gross and so wrong. I don't understand. You can be pro Blake. I'm not against being pro Blake. But the fact that you are, massaging this man and saying that this man is like, he's got it all down, when this is fake news, his twist on it is gross. That's it. Woo! 2424 in the live chat. How you guys doing today? I just got a text message from our Lauren of Court of Random Opinion. Goes, okay, I'm coming to your thing on Saturday. She's coming to Dosers Live next Saturday. Lauren from Court of Random Opinion will be at my dance party on Saturday, Dosers Live. Oh my God, how fun. So you guys can still buy tickets. I am telling you, this is a nightmare. A nightmare. But the fact that Blake Lively released these, a lot of you guys are asking, why would you release these? Well, it's basically, and I'm not a lawyer, I don't have all the information, but essentially why you do that is because it's in your motion to compel. So you're going through discovery and you're finding out, you're getting all of these text messages. And for her, you have people like ex-patriarch, people in that category who are seeing this as like, see, it's an admission. He knew that there were complaints. They knew that there was all this stuff going on. They were working together to kind of hide the press and hide the bad PR or whatever. But if this is all they have, it's actually not that bad. That's it. Right? If this is all he has, if this is all they have, then it's not ever going to be enough. Because calling someone sexy is not sexual harassment. It's just not. It can't. It can't be proven in the court of law that calling someone sexy as a director and saying your onesie is sexy, that is, he cannot be charged with sexual harassment in the court of law. Like it just can't. So if this is the biggest, like, whoa, I'm not worried. I'm really not worried. I'm really not. So that is that, you guys. That is that. The docket keeps docketing. There's more and more and more and more and more that keeps happening, but that's that. We'll see what happens. I just want more I want more on her end. I want to see her text messages. That's all I care about. I want to see what she wrote to her friends. If she didn't write shit to her friends, then we got nothing. Yeah, and he wasn't even directly calling her sexy. Exactly. He was saying the onesie. It's so ridiculous. Like in 2025, we're here. Meanwhile, we're all watching The Hunting Wives. We're watching The Hunting Wives on TV, and this is what we're complaining about online? Please. Please. Okay. Before we go, I just wanted to do a little is there any other time? Oh my God, I have to go in just a moment. I do have a couple other things. I do have a couple of appointments today, so I do have to go in just a moment. But what did I want to talk about really fast? Or does it not even matter? Do we even want to talk about anything else? I'm going to leave it for another episode. We'll talk about something else. Baby puppy is sleeping in the crate, but I'll show you guys just a cute picture that I took this morning. I can't bring baby puppy back here because if she wakes up, then what do I do? Like, what am I going to do with her if she's like awake and then I have to watch her and then I can't be focused on you guys? Her playpen is in the other room. But here, check out cute little Wrigley this morning. There's my AI doggy. Come on. Do I need to cut her little hair around her eyes? She's so damn cute. She sleeps all night, 10:30 to 6:30. I love her. I'm going to call her sexy. I'm going to go and call my dog sexy right now. She better not sue me. All right, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. That was a really fun, action-packed show. Prayers for Justin, for real. Poor guy. He really did have such an incredibly challenging experience on that movie. Like, we've all worked with really hard employers and employees and coworkers and bosses and all of that. So that's really tough. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great week and Shabbat Shalom. And I'll see you guys on Monday. And I'll have a Patreon this weekend. We'll talk about more. Bye, y'all.